All right, to my guest, thank you so much for being on the show. How are you feeling? How you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me here.
Of course, of course. Thank you for wanting to be a part of my first men series and also from wanting to share your story because I feel like this is not discussed enough, especially just with men in general. So thank you so much.
No problem.
Now, what misconceptions do you believe people have about male survivors of sexual assault, especially when the perpetrator is a woman?
I think the biggest misconception is that it can't happen to men,
Right.
or that it's some way watered down because it's happening
Mm-hmm.
to a man. When I think about my situation, it was just if the roles were reversed, I probably wouldn't be here right now.
Right.
you know,
No,
you
seriously,
know.
yeah.
Yeah, so I think that's the biggest thing when it comes
Hmm.
to men. I think that's why most men don't say nothing.
Yeah.
You know.
I also feel like another misconception is the fact that people feel like men always want to have sex.
hmm hmm You know what's crazy about that? With my situation that day, I literally did not go there for that. Like,
Yeah.
no, I literally did not. Um,
Yeah.
you know, it's nothing I can do about it now. So, you know.
Well, do you know any men that were sexually abused by a woman before you experienced your situation?
No, personally, I don't know anybody who's ever actually dealt with it in my personal life.
Hmm.
I'm the only one that I know personally that has went through it on a male point of view.
Hmm.
So,
And I feel like they don't portray it enough in media either. So I feel like that plays a part of why a lot of men, especially black men, don't feel comfortable with speaking up.
hmm yeah,
Did
it's
you?
pretty much like joked about these days
Yeah.
along, amongst men, amongst
Hmm.
each other as men is usually joked about with us. You know what I'm saying? We usually joke about it with one another and stuff like that. But I noticed that when I first told my story to my people in my life, and it was just like a joke, you know.
What were they saying?
Obviously, hmm?
What were they saying?
Well, so a few of them didn't believe me, and they just thought they was just thought it was a story to be funny and laugh at, and others just thought that that's really what I wanted. So that's why it wasn't, a big deal or to be taken so seriously. But, obviously at the moment that I tell them this and they start laughing, I don't say anything, I laugh with them. But I know deep
Mm,
down, it's like I feel a certain way, you know, that they think
yeah.
is a joke, So,
Have any men came out and like thank you for sharing your story and they shared their story with you?
well, when I shared my story publicly, yeah, there was probably amongst the comments,
Hmm.
there was a lot of people, men and women that, commented or direct messaged me, what I'm saying, told me, how brave I am and all this. And, it was definitely something I wasn't expecting, what I'm saying, with a man telling
Yeah.
his story and actually getting support and, some empathy. So yeah,
Yeah.
it
Did you feel
was both sides.
overwhelmed?
Yeah, yeah, because I,
Yeah.
I didn't expect to hear anything about it or it to even go anywhere or anybody to say anything about it or anything. But a lot of people, men and women on both sides definitely was showing support. So I definitely appreciate it.
Yeah. Did you see the recent incident with Michael Rainey Jr. from Power? He was sexually
Yes, I did.
assaulted. Yeah, he's shaking his head,
Yes, I
y'all.
did.
Yeah, on the
Yeah.
Twitch live stream by a woman. So what were your thoughts when you saw it? Because I thought that was fucking crazy.
I'm gonna be honest with you. At that moment, I felt like I knew exactly what he was going through.
Yeah.
And the fact that it was children in the room when it happened, and
Yeah.
I don't know if the guys that saw it, I believe it was one or two guys that saw it happen. I don't know if they were on, Michael Rainey Jr. side or the streamers side, but as far as friends go, but they saw it happening. You know what I mean? And the look on his face is just it was.
Yeah.
I remember that moment. It's like a moment of vulnerability that we never expect to even happen or have. You know,
Yeah.
so. Yeah.
I thought that was so. First of all, I was like, why is he there? Like,
Yeah.
I thought that was so crazy because if the shoe was on the other foot,
Mhm.
that boy would be in jail somewhere. His career would be
Exactly.
over. Like, I'm
Mhm.
just like, what is going to be the outcome of this? Because not only did he have to experience, but everybody saw it.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. I don't, that's the messed up part about it. Just like we were talking about with my situation, I don't think anything's gonna happen to her at all.
Mm,
And it was being said that she's actually an adult.
yeah.
So it's like it's crazy. Nothing's gonna happen to this adult, which is a crime that she committed. But it's crazy because I felt the way he felt because I know nothing's gonna happen to her. You know what I'm saying? It's something that this happens more than people think,
Mm-hmm.
and nothing happens to the abuser. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So I don't see nothing happening to her. I see it getting brushed under the rug. You know what I'm saying? The streamer did come out, with the statement,
But I
which is
feel like
cool and all.
he had to protect himself.
Yeah, yeah, he had a PR moment right there.
Right. He cleaned that up real quick.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And that's the thing. Now, even though he did that, I don't see nothing happening to her.
Yeah.
Nothing.
And then I also feel like if you're that comfortable to do that with somebody, and I'm assuming she don't know him, I can only
Mhm.
imagine how she give it up to people
Yeah,
out, you know what I'm saying, behind closed doors. Like that was bold.
yeah, yeah. So one of their earlier clips, when I guess she first got introduced to him, she was like all over him, hugging on him and stuff like that, you know. And the way she was hugging him was just like she was infatuated with this guy, which I get it.
Yeah.
I understand, I get it. He's a celebrity, you like him, and all that. But
You gotta
to
still
do
respect
that,
people boundaries. Right.
yeah, this is an adult. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It's an adult. Like this is somebody. This is a human being. This is an individual. Like you can't
Yeah.
just go touching people because you want to touch them. And then where you touched him was the worst part about it. Like, and
Like
didn't
you could
even
have touched
really,
him anywhere else.
yeah. Like why? It was like why touch him at all?
That part.
You know what I'm saying? Why touch him at all? That was the crazy part. It was like why touch him at all?
Now, what if he would have reflexed?
Now see, now then it would have went left with him and all them guys in that room.
Mm.
If he would have reflexed, then you mean like physically did something to her?
Yeah, because if somebody's grabbing you and it catches you off guard, he could have
Uh-huh.
pushed her. He could have did anything physical just to be like, "Yo, like, what's up? What are you doing?" Like,
Hmm.
but you can tell he froze.
Yeah, 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 definitely. He had that. If you remember that look on his face, he didn't know what to do. He
Yeah,
froze. Yeah, just like you said, he froze.
yeah.
Yes.
But what can
Yep.
you do? Because I probably would have froze if something like that would have happened to me, especially something so unexpected. It's like, girl, you can't be serious right now.
Hmm. Yeah. What I was thinking? What possessed her to do that? Like,
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like, what do you do on a daily basis that make you do
yeah,
that to
that's what I'm
somebody
saying.
you just met, a celebrity you just met? Like, is this the first celebrity you ever been around or something?
Yeah,
Like you don't know how to conduct yourself, control yourself.
yeah, that's
Like, it'd be
unfortunate.
different. It'd be different if they knew each other and they were on that kind of level. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? But
but from the look of his face, I don't think they knew each other like that.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? And I'm pretty sure he definitely didn't expect that to happen with kids right in front of him.
I
You know,
know.
like that's
Yeah.
like I don't think this will happen, but I will hope like things like protective services don't get involved and police start to get involved, and stuff like
Hmm.
that. Just for all of their sake, and then especially for the children's sake. I don't know that household. I can't, you know, say anything about the household. I don't know any of them. It's just I don't expect there to be something done in the presence of children. You
Right.
know,
Yeah, I
so.
agree. Now, how did you meet your ex-girlfriend at the time?
Mm. So I was on a deployment, believe it or not.
Hmm.
I was on a 9-month deployment in the Navy.
Hmm.
We were coming home. We were coming back home. We had about 2 weeks left before we come back home. I contacted a family member of mine. We frequently, you know what I'm saying, went out. You know, we were younger in our 20s and stuff. So we frequently, you know what I'm saying, went out before the Navy and even after the Navy or whatever. And I asked him to book a section in the club in our one of our favorite clubs. So when he did that, I came home and I had got like a hotel room for like 2 weeks until I got my apartment. So while we're in that hotel, the first night was supposed to be the night of the outing. Um, him and a couple more cousins, you know, family members came, and a couple more friends came that we grew up with, and then she was one of a friend of a friend.
Okay.
I did not know her at all till that, you know, that night. I met her that night, you know, not the night that happened, but I mean, that was
your
the
first
night I
time meeting
met
each
her.
other at the party, right?
Yeah, that was the first night meeting her, was the like couple hours before the club at the hotel, you know what I'm saying, with everybody. And we didn't say anything to each other. That was the strange part. When we first met, we didn't say anything to each other, didn't speak or nothing.
Why you thought that was strange?
Well, because it was like, you're coming into my hotel room and you're coming with us, so you're coming into the section that I'm paying for, that you know what I'm saying?
So
That
at
I
least
booked.
speak, right?
Yeah, it was like, you're
Right.
in my hotel room going to my party, like about to have fun in my section. You about to
Right.
drink off of my alcohol, you know what I'm saying? So,
Right.
so it was, I didn't think nothing of it, you know what I'm saying? And then when we got there, what was even more strange was she was dancing with said family member that you know, booked the section for me.
So
So I'm
you
not.
probably thought they was together or they were trying to get
Yeah,
together.
I thought they was doing
Right.
something. You know what I'm saying? I thought they had some kind of like relationship. You know what I'm saying? Because they were all on each other. You know how people do in the
Oh, that's
club
a
sometimes.
red flag right there.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So I'm not even, you know, I'm not a jealous person, none of that. So I'm just thinking, okay, you know, my family member doing this thing.
Right.
Until what happened was, I think I bought the fourth bottle in my section. Once I paid for the fourth bottle, that's when she gave me this look. Like, you know, that look when you look somebody up and down.
Oh, he got
That was,
money.
yeah, that was the look she gave me after the fourth bottle. She looked me up and down. And where I'm from is either two things. Either you want to do that or you want to fight. Like
Right,
looking at
right,
somebody
right.
like that. You know what I'm saying? But right after that, she started to dance on me. So my initial thought was, okay, this girl is just going wherever the money at or something. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
Did your cousin
that's
feel
how we
away?
met. I don't know. We never talked about if he felt the way. I don't think he felt the way because apparently they never did anything beyond that level, you know. So
Okay.
I don't think he did. But yeah, that was the
Now,
night we met.
so looking back at this point, the relationship progressed. So when did you start to notice some red flags?
So
Why
this
you
is gonna
laughing?
be this, I don't even know if I can say this.
Yeah, say it.
Okay, so that night, right, of the club,
Uh-huh.
right? We get back to the hotel, we're in the parking lot, we're two cars deep, right? My car and a family member's car.
What she do?
So I'm telling my family member that set up the whole thing, telling him to take whoever he need to take home because he was going to stay in the hotel with me.
Right.
So I told him to take home whoever he needed to take home. When I got out the car and was walking towards the hotel, she got out the car to come with me. Right. So I'm like, all right, whatever. Cool.
But you think it's gonna be a good night.
Something is whatever, right? So, but
Right.
when we get into the room, I went shopping that day with the same family member, right, at the mall, right?
Uh-huh.
And what was weird was, as soon as she got in, she went to like one of my shopping bags, and I had like some polo underwear I had bought or whatever, you know, stuff like that. And she immediately put some on. Like,
She put the polo underwear on?
yeah, I ain't even worn them yet. Like she immediately go through my bags and she found them and put them on. Like,
What she have on, like a dress or something?
yeah, she had like a
Okay.
dress, and she just put
Yeah.
them on and get in the bed. Like, it was. I've never had that happen before. I never, like, you know what I'm saying? I didn't know people did that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But whatever. So more red flags were when I realized, I think the first time she, you know, hit me. I think that was the first red flag. Like, I come to learn that she was one of those people that believe that because you're in a relationship, she has the right to put hands on you. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what she frequently did whenever we got into an argument. You know what I'm saying? Is she'll go to do that. That was like the first red flag. That was pretty much like a few weeks. Because so I come to find out later that she lied to me.
Mm-hmm.
Because I wouldn't usually just move somebody in, you know what I'm saying, after a few weeks of, you know what I'm saying, talking.
Right.
But apparently she had lied to me and told me she was being kicked out by her child's father,
Mm.
and that she had nowhere to go. Um, so I was like, I always been, I grew up with a single mother,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? So I always want to help, you know what I'm saying? And you know what I'm saying, I'm always, playing a
Y'all was
hero
moving
for
pretty
them.
fast though.
Yeah, and really fast. Literally, two after I got the hotel only had for 2 weeks. I got my apartment, and maybe 2 weeks after I got into the apartment is when she came. She moved in.
Nah, two
Her and
weeks.
her child. Her and her child. It was probably 2 weeks after.
Did you like her like that during that time?
I'll be honest. I think I was desperate. I had went 9 months with no girlfriend on deployment. Like so,
Mm. Oh yeah.
I think I was just desperate and wanted something in house. You know what I'm saying? And I
Yeah.
always wanted a family and stuff like that. So it seemed perfect at the time. You know what I mean? Until I realized I was the only one paying any of the bills in the apartment. like,
Yeah.
um, and which is fine. Like which is fine. But it's like if as long as it's being reciprocated and I'm being appreciated, that's fine. But I wasn't getting any of that, you know.
Yeah.
And then especially, so we we get to the point where um we wind up getting arrested together.
Well, wait. Was this the point where why you laughing? Is it hard for you to tell this story?
No, no, no. It's just me thinking about the decisions I made at that time. I just unbelievable.
But you was also young though, because how old were
Yeah,
you in your early 20s, right?
yeah. I was probably in my early 20s.
And
Yeah.
you was also vulnerable, like you just came back home. Like,
Mhm.
sometimes people play on your vulnerabilities like that. So
Yeah, definitely, definitely happened.
yeah. And I'd rather you go through this in your 20s than go through it in your 40s.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. Um.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
after the first incident, this is when
Uh,
y'all got into a really bad argument and then she
uh,
started punching you.
yeah. So we got into a bad argument, and I walked past her, and I was pretending to call the police.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't on the phone with anybody. You know what I'm saying? I just had the phone up to my ear, and I was like, can I get a squad car? You know what I mean? And I'm walking past her, walking to the bedroom.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And then I put the phone down as soon as I got to the room because I wasn't on the phone with anybody. And as soon as she walked into the bedroom, she was like, "Oh, you want to call the police? I'll give you a reason." And she hit me like 5 times, same spot in my jaw. And I went to work
What?
the next day, and I couldn't chew. So for like 4 or 5 days at work, I could only eat like soft things, applesauce, pudding, and stuff like that for like 4 or 5 days. And where I come from, you don't really call the police on what I'm saying, your significant other. So it was like that wasn't in my mind, you know what I'm saying? It was just to get through it, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That was it.
Wait, how old was she? Was she the same age as you?
Yeah, we were around the same age. Yeah,
Was she
we were
black?
around the same age. Yeah. Yep. She honestly, she's about the same size, if not weigh a little more than I do. So it wasn't like this was some
Wow.
little scrawny little person or something, you know what I'm saying? It was somebody like my equal, like, you know what I'm saying, physically. You know what I'm saying? So
Wow. What were you thinking? Because I can only imagine like the emotions you were feeling, like, especially the fact that you couldn't eat for almost a week.
this is the weird thing about that is that wasn't the first female to put hands on me in a relationship.
Wow.
Yeah, she wasn't the first girlfriend I had that put hands on me. And I mean like really, really punching and kicking and stuff like that. I got kicked in the chest by some Timberland boots by a female before her.
You ain't got no
Like
cousins?
not I got a female cousin, she's way older. She's always been like 15 to 20 years older than me, so she's not gonna fight, stuff like that
Oh
or
my
nothing like that.
God. And what
Yeah, I don't
happened
have
with
no
this?
sisters.
And what happened with
Uh,
that situation?
Nothing. I just wound up leaving that apartment. That was it.
And was
Like,
she being physically abusive towards you more than once, or was this a continuous
yeah,
thing?
It was more than once. Yeah. Like
What?
I seen to back then in those ages, I was finding women for some reason that have no problem putting hands on their boyfriends,
Where do you
so.
think that stemmed from? That you was continuously in this space where you was attracting these type of women.
Well, I think one thing they had in common, they both were single mothers. Um,
Mm,
so I know there was a lot of things that they held inside that, they really didn't have an outlet for, you know. Um, and I'm not, I'm not giving them an excuse,
right.
what I'm saying, because they did what they did, you know what I'm saying? Um,
But you can understand what they was probably going through because you was raised by a single mother.
yeah. So it's like on top of that, maybe the kind of guys they were running into that's not me, you know what I'm saying, were probably worse than I was, and stuff like that. So, it was a lot that played into it, I guess. I don't know what actually made them start throwing the first punches though. Because I'm not that violent person. I'm never throwing, what I'm saying, just hauling off, hitting a woman or nothing like that. So I don't know
Yeah.
what made them think, oh, I could hit him. Maybe because I was a nice guy. I don't
Yeah.
know. Maybe that was a thing because I was a nice guy. I don't really don't know what made the actual physical happen. I don't know.
Yeah. And what happened with that situation? You just broke up with her or like how did y'all end?
The first one,
Yeah, with the first girlfriend.
we just broke up. When I left the apartment, we had broke up. What was weird about it is that we had stayed in communication after that. Like we was like cool after that. Like it was crazy.
Mm,
Yeah. So I don't know if we just have this love toxicity or something. I don't know what it is that kept drawing us towards each other to at the minimum be friends. You know what I'm saying?
right.
We don't speak to this day, look good. So
Right.
but I don't know what the reason was. But yeah, we broke up soon. Like I left right after that fight. I left the apartment and it was ended right there. So
Are you and your mom close?
yeah, yeah, extremely,
Did you
extremely.
tell her what was going on?
Yeah, she knew all the step of the way.
And what
She
did she
knew.
think about this?
She thought we were both crazy because at one point, I don't know what we argued about or whatever, but she came over with like her brother and her best friend to try to like fight me or whatever, you know what I'm saying? And my mom's in the middle trying to stop it from happening, and stuff. Like I don't know. That's what I was saying. I don't know why we were drawn to this toxic environment. I don't know why. So my mom, she knew I didn't really have the I didn't really pick really good at women, until now. What I'm saying? I wasn't good at picking women. I felt like those women in those ages, I was picking women who looked like they needed saving.
I was going to ask you that. Like, have you ever seen your mom in a healthy relationship before? Because maybe that has something to do with it.
I haven't seen her in a healthy relationship until my stepfather, who I just call father. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Once he stepped in the picture when I was about high school, middle school to high school or something like that, about almost 15 years ago, if not 15 years ago. So this has been the longest and healthiest relationship I've seen her in. So,
Yeah.
but
So maybe
before
that
that,
has something to
no.
do with it. Yeah.
Yeah, probably did. Yeah,
Yeah.
probably right.
Well, listen, I know you with somebody now. So if she put hands on you, you call me. I send somebody to where you at. Because I can tell you a nice guy. Like,
Thank you.
yeah, like you have good energy. So, and that's very unfortunate that you keep being in situations where women feel comfortable with abusing you. Like, that's not cool because if the shoe was on the other foot, you'll be in jail somewhere.
Yeah, and I was at one point with the second one. The
Yeah.
one with the whole story is about, yeah, with
Ye-
her. But I wasn't in jail. I was arrested and held for like maybe 8 hours or whatever,
What
and
were you
released.
arrested for?
So, it was a simple assault on both of us. Because I'll be honest, like at some point you get tired and you fight back.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you respectfully. Like, did you try to like
Yeah,
restrain?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, at some point, you fight back. You get tired of getting hit on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You get tired of getting choked. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You get
Yeah.
tired
No
of
facts.
being abused. You know what I mean? So you fight back. And when the police came to the door, she ran into the room you know what I mean, to hide herself and, you know, stuff like that. With me, I went straight to the police, went straight to the door, opened the door and told the police everything that happened. I told them what she did and what I did, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I was like, they were real respectful to me though, you know what I'm saying? Even though doing their job, they still had to take me as well, which is, you know, it started the beginning of the end. So, you know,
Yeah.
I had to take it.
So how long was it when you got arrested till y'all breaking up?
Well, as soon as I got bailed out, um, I was still in the Navy. So my chain of command pretty much wanted me to move out of my apartment and move back into my mother's house
Right, because
until
that could
she
fuck you
moved.
up.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
luckily, they love me. Cause like I said, I'm the nice guy. Like everybody loves
Yeah.
me. You know what I'm saying? So they wanted me to move out to my mother's house until she moves. And they were there with me when we had a eviction notice, like, you know, hand delivered to her. She ripped it up. She didn't care, you know, and all that stuff. Um, and she took like the whole 30 days before she moved out. So
Mm.
um, so we was pretty much broken up that night we got arrested.
Wait, how long were y'all together doing this?
This was all in the span of maybe 2.5 months.
What?
Yeah. Because we met the very end of November. And the jail stuff and all that happened around maybe towards the middle end of January.
Wow.
So this is
That
about
is
2.5 months.
crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking this is the span of like a year or something.
Mm-mm. It was like 2.5 months.
Well, listen, I'd rather sooner than later.
Yeah, it had to
Yeah.
happen. You know, in that situation, it had to happen.
Hmm.
For us to get out of it. There was no other way for me to get out of it. You know, because she literally was not going to leave. And in that state, for some reason, in my home state, for some reason, even if because she lives there, even though she was served the eviction notice, she didn't have to leave after the 30 days if she didn't want to, honestly.
Mm.
Yeah, like that's how crazy it was. Like she legally did not have to leave if she didn't want to.
Was her name on the lease too, or just yours?
No, just mine. I had that apartment before her.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I got an apartment by myself. My name was the only one on the lease. I was the only one paying the bills, but she lived there, so she really didn't have to leave after the 30-day eviction if she didn't want to.
When
But
all
she
this
left.
was going on, where were the kid? Where was her child at?
Her son was there. The night we got arrested, her son was there. He
Mm.
was in the bedroom. He didn't see it, but he was there in the same house when it happened.
How old was he?
Uh, he was maybe about 3 or 4 at the time.
Wow.
Yeah, he was a little. Yeah,
So
but
what
he
was
was there.
what was the situation where so at this point you moved out with your mom, she stayed in the house, she stayed there until like 30 days. So what
Mhm.
was the situation with you saying that she stole $700 worth of merchandise from
Oh,
you?
first days. Yeah. So when I was on deployment, I had, we had nothing really but time and Amazon and stuff. So we ordered a lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I had ordered about $700 worth of. So this was at a time where it was just like, people were big on DVDs and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So I
Yeah.
literally ordered like $700 worth of DVDs off
Damn, what movie
Amazon.
she was watching?
Right? All the black classics. you
Hood
know,
shit, right? Wait, what's your favorite
yeah,
hood movie?
Boys in the Hood.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, you
That's
know
a
what I'm
good
saying? It's
one.
an all-time classic. You know what I'm saying? So when she left, I noticed she pretty much junked up the apartment when she left.
Of
And I
course she did.
noticed, yeah, and I noticed all those movies were gone, like all of them. And obviously she took them. So,
Right.
so at first that, we had got, arrested and we went to court, uh right after court for some reason, like there was no problem communicating between the two. So all I did was want to know was, can I get my stuff back? You
Right.
know?
$700 of DVDs is crazy.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't have cable at the time, you know what I'm saying? All I had was DVDs. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So I wanted those back. And that's when she agreed to let me come over and get them. Because in those 3, 4 months, she never had her own apartment at those times. So she was just saving her checks up. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
So when she moved out, she had got her own place.
Well, yeah,
You
she
know
had
what
the
I'm
money
saying?
for it.
Yeah. So it was like, good, you out of my place. That's all I care about.
Right.
But when I was asked to come over and grab those things, she said yes, no problem. And then that's when the nightmare happened. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Can you describe what happened that night? As much as little, or wherever you feel comfortable with.
Yeah, I'll tell you the whole story, front and back. So I hit her up maybe in the afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
So it's probably around, I want to say maybe noon to 2 o'clock, somewhere in that time frame. She said, yeah, come get them. So I drove over, and this is like a 15, 20-minute drive from my apartment to hers.
Right.
Right. So I go over there, no problem, knock on the door, right? The first red flag was she let me in. You know what I'm saying? She didn't just
Mm.
bring the movies to the door and hand them to me and say, here you go.
Right.
You know, like she could have. She let me in. Second red flag, as soon as she let me in, she locked the door behind me. Right.
Mm.
So I'm like, okay, I'm trying not to think much of it. You know, I'm thinking I'm gonna get my movies and I can go back home because I had a girlfriend at the time.
Oh, that was
Except
quick.
I moved on quick from that one
Right.
because that's why I was telling you, I don't think I really loved her.
Right.
You
I mean, but
know,
I don't think you really knew her either.
yeah, I didn't. I didn't know
Right.
her. I didn't love her, you know, so it was easy to move past her, right? So I had a different girlfriend at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Because this all happened quick. Like, it was all back-to-back stuff, you know what I'm saying? This is in the span of those few months still, you know what I'm saying? So this
Right.
maybe month 3 is when this happens, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Um, so after that first time in court, we're already both on probation. We're both on probation for 2 years,
2
right?
years?
Yeah, 2 years probation to both of us. After that first time we got arrested, 2 years probation for both of us when we went to court. All right.
Right.
So we weren't even supposed to touch each other or put hands on each other, nothing crazy, or get in any kind of trouble.
Or y'all
Right.
were probably weren't even supposed to be in the same vicinity, right?
Well, we can talk. We didn't have like like a restraining orders or nothing like
Okay.
that between the two, or no protection orders. So we could talk, you know what I'm saying, and all that, and be around each other.
Just
Just
no
can't get in trouble.
altercations. Right.
Yeah. Right. So uh immediately she starts talking about the relationship. And the
Mm.
first thing in my mind is, hey, I didn't come here for that. I'm gonna go. You know what I'm saying? If you're not gonna give me the movies, I'm gonna just go. So
Right.
she stands in front of the door. Now I don't want to touch her because we're already on probation, right?
Mm-hmm.
But she started pushing me. She's pushing me. And remember, mind you, she's about the same size, if not a little bigger than me. So she's pushing me. I don't want to touch her. We're on probation.
Mm-hmm.
She's pushing me until I notice she's pushing me into the bathroom. She pushes me into the bathroom and she locks the door. She's in front of it. There's no window, no nothing.
Wow.
So that door is my only exit.
Were you
And she's in
scared?
front. So I wasn't scared that she was gonna like beat me up or nothing at that time. Um, I wasn't scared that she was gonna hit me or beat me up or nothing. I started to get scared when she said what she said. So she's in front of the door, she's locked it. I don't want to touch her. I can't get out. She looks at me and she says, give me what I want before I take it. And like my
Wow.
mouth literally dropped because I ain't never had nobody say that to me. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So in the moment, my mouth dropped. And I'm like, what did you say? And she repeats it, right? So I'm like, I didn't come here for that. Like, let me go. Like, let me
Right.
out. I'm not doing that with you today. We're not doing that. No. I don't know. I can't stress to you how many times I said no.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? And to me, is what's crazy is because even though I said no, she kept grabbing, like, and trying to pull down, grab,
Right.
and all this other stuff. And I'm like, now, if the role was reversed and I was saying that to her,
Yeah.
and she said no, and I kept grabbing, pulling down, and all that, ain't no telling where I'd be right now. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
That's a
Like, ain't
fact.
no telling. You know what I'm saying? So I'm literally fighting with her for 10 minutes, like playing tug of war with my pants, playing tug of war. After a while, I just stopped and just let it happen. So
Wow.
when she got up, she unlocked the door. So we walk out of the bathroom, and her son is in the room, in his room or whatever, right? At that time, the entire time that's happening. We go to the living room, and I don't know what it was,
Mm-hmm.
but I felt defeated. You know what I'm saying? Like I really like if you saw me at that time, my whole demeanor changed from the time I came to the door to the moment I walked out that bathroom. You know what I'm saying? Like something obviously changed. You know what I'm saying? So I just looked at him and was like, "Can I get my movies?"
Right.
And she was like, "No." She was like,
Wow.
the cable man hasn't came yet and turned on my cable. You can't get your movies yet. So you baited me to come all the way over there because you know what I wanted to get to do that to me.
Right.
So I started to leave. I was like, okay, no, I'm done with whatever. I'm leaving. I go to leave. She gets in front of the door again. Like I unlock the door and almost have it open. She pushes it closed, locks it, hits me in my face, puts me in a headlock. Right. While she got me in this headlock, her son runs out the room into the living room where we are. Now I'm in a headlock. We're in the back of the sofa. Right. We're behind the
Wow.
couch. She has me bent over in the headlock. He runs, jumps in, jumps on my back. Now, I don't know if he thought we were playing, if he thought, I don't know what he thought, but he ran, jumped in, jumped on the couch, jumped on my back, and he started hitting me. This little 4-year-old, like, just started
Yo.
hitting me. You know what I'm saying? So she
That's
tells,
heartbreaking.
yeah, she tells him to get off, you know what I'm saying, and he gets off of me.
Because he could have
So,
got hurt as well.
yeah. I'm
Yeah.
like, so my mind the entire time, I'm like, I'm not going to hit her. I'm not going to hurt her. None of that, because next thing you know, we're back in court again. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm arrested again. So I'm not going to hit her. None of that. Give her no reason to say I put hands on her. So what I started to do is to push her over the couch. So she'll land on the seat of the couch. Her back will land on the seat of the couch, which happened. I wound up pushing her over, so she is on the seat of the couch. Her back is on the seat of the couch. Her legs are on the back of the couch. And I'm standing up. The only problem is when that happened, she grabbed my shirt. So now she still has me. Like,
Where is
so
this girl from? Like,
she's from my city. Same city. We from Virginia.
but why is
Same
she
city.
so violent? Like,
She grew up like that, I guess. Because I'm gonna tell you something that's even worse than that. But so the only thing I can think to do is come out of my t-shirt and run to my car as fast as I can.
right.
So while she has my shirt like this, I come from out of my shirt, open the
Right.
door, started running. As soon as I started to run, as soon as I crossed that threshold, I feel her hit me in the back. I just keep going. I don't even think about it, just keep going. I'm running from her apartment, shirtless, to my car. Like, so I get in my car, I drive all the way home. And at the time, my girlfriend at the time comes the next night. The next night she comes over, and immediately she's like, "We have a problem." That girl then contacted my girlfriend at the time and told her we was doing this, we were doing that earlier that day, and all
How
this
she
other
knew
stuff.
who your girlfriend was?
I do not. Maybe Facebook. I'm thinking Facebook.
Mm.
I'm thinking Facebook.
And what did your girlfriend say? Well, when you got in the car and you was driving home, did you call anybody? Like, did you tell anybody what happened?
Nope, I took off because of I took off. I didn't tell nobody. I was like, nobody's gonna believe me, and I'm
Right.
not going to the police. You know, none of that. I was like, I just went home. And she told my girlfriend at the time what she told her, and when she came over, I just came out and told her what happened. I told her
Mm.
exactly what happened. Um,
And what did she say?
I don't really remember. I honestly don't think she really. I think she halfway believed me, because it can sound crazy, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But if you were there, you would see exactly how it happened. You know what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
I think it sounded crazy to her. But I think the more, because they got on the phone together that night. So I think the more she listened to her, the more she understood what happened.
Right.
So at that point, she was telling me she was just trying to get the girl to incriminate herself. But the girl shortly hung up after telling her that there's a warrant out for me. So I ran from her house shirtless after getting assaulted, and she calls the police on me, saying that I assaulted her and I fled the scene.
Wow.
So me and my girlfriend at the time on the couch on her phone looked it up. There was an actual assault warrant for me. So once again,
I wish y'all could see my face. Well, y'all can't see
yeah,
my face if y'all go to my YouTube channel because I'm just like, wow.
once again, my chain of command had to take me down to the precinct, and they didn't arrest me or nothing. They just had me sign an affidavit saying I would appear in court.
Yeah, like, he
You know,
wanted to get ahead of it because he knew this could
yeah,
have really damaged your
exactly.
livelihood. Yeah.
So what happened with that situation was I told my family at that point. At this point, I didn't tell friends, like any male friends or anything like that, or really male family. I told my female family, I told my mother and my aunts, you know what I'm saying? And they were all always been on my side, you know what I'm saying, always had my back and all that. So
Right.
they were the ones who convinced me to go down to the police station and file my own,
Absolutely.
you know. So file my own charges. So I was like, okay, and I went down to the police station. I talked to some detectives.
Mm-hmm.
The only problem was that really still to this day I don't fully understand why. I think I know why, but I don't understand why. Is
Mm-hmm.
that when I told them exactly what happened, they, you know, obviously they got to go to the magistrate and, you know what I'm saying, get the all charges filed that the magistrate is willing to file. And they came back telling me that they couldn't get her for, you know, like raping me. Like they
Well,
couldn't get
why?
her for that because they were saying that I'm a man and I allowed it to happen. Well, their exact words from the detectives, exact words.
But what
I'm a
does that
man and I
mean?
allowed it to happen. That's what I'm saying. I was like, I know what they saying, but I don't understand why they saying it. Because
Mm.
it's like if you it's like you don't believe me when you tell me you can't get her from that because I'm a man. Like it made me feel like you don't believe that that's really what happened or that's
And
really what I
no
was
one can
thinking.
control their body when they're in certain situations.
Exactly. I'm like,
Right.
I don't understand why when a man tells somebody no and that person goes through with it, it's not the same as when the roles are reversed. I was like, when
Mm.
a woman says no and the man keeps going, like I don't understand why that's different. Like I'm like, because
Right.
I can't express how many times I said no, I don't want to, I'm not doing this. Like to the point we're playing tug of war with my pants for 10 minutes.
Right. Did one of the officers even try to like explain what that meant? Like, or
No,
was that just it?
that was just it. They said you're a man and you allowed it to happen. Like he looked at me in my face and said, we can't get her on that because you're a man and you allowed it to happen. I don't know how you
Wow.
allow that to happen to yourself.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. Like, and my whole mind was not touching her, pushing her off, or none of that because we were on probation already. Like I didn't want to give
Yeah.
her any reason to tell the cops that I put hands on her. You know what I'm saying? So when we did go to court, like they got her for stealing the movies, you know, and all that or whatever. So she owed me like $700 in restitution or whatever, or to return the movies. So she returned the movies obviously because she didn't want to pay me $700. So she returned the movies, and they threw out the assault charge that she put on me because it was my word versus hers.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I obviously wasn't going to admit to doing that. I didn't punch you. I didn't hit you, you know,
Right.
like you did me. You know, I didn't put you in a headlock like you did me, you know, and all that. So it was my word versus hers. So they threw that out on me. So
I'm
there was
just
no further punishment.
I'm just curious because if they say that you allowed it to happen, then
Mhm.
how can they prove that you did not allow it to happen? Like I just don't understand the wording with that.
Exactly.
Yeah, like
Exactly.
so how can we
That's what I'm saying. It's making it sound like you don't believe me when you say I allowed it to happen.
so what are
You know what I'm
men
saying?
supposed to do in this case?
There's nothing we can do. I don't think there's anything we can do. Because I mean, as much as people like to say, you know, evidence and stuff like that, I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
if you don't go there expecting that to happen, you're not thinking to pull out a phone. Like in the moment, I'm not thinking to pull out a phone and record. I'm thinking to keep my pants up. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like get her off of me. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, and hope she doesn't go through with this. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not thinking pull out my phone and record. You know what I'm saying? It was just yeah, I don't think there's anything men can do legally, like with
Wow,
something like
that's
that.
heartbreaking. I'm so sorry that happened to you because I can tell just like you sharing the story and like I can see you visualize it because I can see it in my head and that's
Yeah,
that's 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 no, it's seriously that's really
you really
messed
saw
up.
that?
No, yeah, because when you're describing it, I can just imagine like you have a restraint not to want
Mhm.
to physically harm her, but then also you want to protect yourself.
Mhm.
And it's
Yeah,
like she's constantly like pressuring you to a point where she took advantage of you.
yeah.
And that's
Um,
fucked up. And then you go
no,
to the
one.
authorities and they tell
Mhm.
you you allowed it to happen. Like, how do you
Mhm.
tell somebody that, especially like a person?
Yeah. I think there's a I haven't seen any like disrespectful comments or anything like that, but I think there was still some men out there that didn't believe me.
Mm-hmm.
It's people when they start laughing at it and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Like there's like right now, like now I can laugh about the situation. You know what I'm saying? Because I didn't came to the acceptance that nothing's gonna happen because of it. She's not gonna face any, you know what I'm saying, any punishments because of it. You know what I'm saying? I've noticed that years ago, you know what I'm saying, a few years ago. So I've accepted she's not getting in any trouble for it, you know.
Yeah.
Um, so it kind of helped me move on, just accepting that point. But when it gets to guys that don't know me, like when they start laughing at it, and it's just like, or saying like, "Man, you wanted it," you know what I'm saying, stuff like that. And it was like I had a girlfriend at the time, I didn't need it. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? Like I didn't need it. Like I
Yeah.
literally went there for one thing. You know what I'm saying? Which I didn't even get. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
I got assaulted again instead of that. You know what I'm saying? So it was just like I didn't lie on any of that story. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like
Yeah.
when they say stuff like that, sometimes it makes it seem like they think I'm lying when I'm saying what my mindset was and what the idea was going there and all that other stuff. And it was just like I really didn't lie the entire time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The entire story was true. I didn't lie about any of it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm an open book. You know what I mean?
Yeah. How were you able to move forward after this, after your assault?
To be honest with you, I get to a point where, like, if I shed some tears about something, so I could pretty much move on from it,
Yeah.
after time. So it was just like, once I shed a few tears about the situation, the time it did happen, I think time just helped me move on from it. And, you know what I'm saying? My fiance today helped me move
Mm-hmm.
on from it for sure, you know what I'm saying? Because we've talked about it quite a few times. And I've told her a lot about my past, and past relationships quite a few times. So,
Mm-hmm.
you know, I think, um, I think my family I have now, my fiance and my son, you know what I'm saying, just helped me not think about it at all. So, you know what I'm saying, they've helped me throughout this entire time. You know
Yeah.
what I'm
Was
saying?
it difficult for you to be in relationships after this? Just to be able to trust women and when especially when it comes to intimacy?
Yeah, because even up to my 30s, not so long ago, I still got to a point where I still allow myself to be used, um, and taken advantage of even
Mm.
in my 30s. Like, you know what I'm saying? Maybe 2 years ago or so, like
Mm-hmm.
up to 2 years ago, I was still allowing myself to be used, taken advantage of. So I think it's still hard for relationships for me.
Yeah.
You know, you know.
Nah, you can't be letting people do this, man. You got me ready to fight.
If I tell you in my 30s, it didn't get worse than them being actually physically assaulted and stuff like that. But it got worse with like being used and taken advantage of. Like, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah, but you
even
can't
my
be allowing
30s.
people to do this. Like you gotta know
Like,
that you are worth being in a healthy, happy relationship and somebody that really wants to be with you. I mean, I'm pretty sure you have that now with your fiance,
yeah,
but like you can't
yeah,
you can't let people do that to you, especially with you being so nice. And thankfully, this didn't really,
yeah.
turn you the opposite because good men like you, they would have went the complete opposite and like be something completely opposite of what you are. So thank God that you're not like that. That could have really like scored you.
I think my mom had a lot to do with that. Like,
Yeah.
I think just from the way she raised me, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I choose, try to be the good guy. So she's
Yeah.
always raised me like that. But yeah, you're right. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, like even I was 30, 31 years old, crying over a female that then took advantage of me. You know what I'm saying? Like at 30, 31 years old. You know what I'm saying? And
Mm-hmm.
just because like it was, I don't know if it's tough to like put my foot down in those situations or, you know, it was just me being blind, you know what I'm saying, to being taken advantage of and being used, you know?
Yeah. Wait, what was you about to say earlier? You was like it was something crazy about her that you found out.
Yeah. So come to find out, even after, we were done and over with and some time goes by, she got arrested multiple times after that for assaulting her mother. Yeah, she was fist
Wow.
fighting with her mother on several occasions to the point where the courts gave her mother custody of her son. And then eventually she got custody back, but yeah, I was like, so this was somebody that was just from the beginning, just not so good of a person.
Right. Where
You
is she
know,
at now?
I think she's still in the same city, our home city. I think she's still back there. I think so.
Wow. Because
Yeah,
for
we
her
don't
to
really
feel
speak.
comfortable, yeah. Have she tried to reach out to you or anything, especially with you being vocal about your story?
No, I'm not sure if she saw it or not. She hasn't said anything to me about it. And that's why I didn't name drop either.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So only the people that's really close to me know who I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? So because I didn't. That's why I didn't name drop or anything. So I'm not sure if she saw it or not. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, but she hasn't said anything about it. She did reach out a few months ago,
Mm-hmm.
but that was because she was working with a lawyer because she still had owed me that $700 restitution all these years that she didn't
Right.
pay. So she
Do
had
you
wanted me
even want
to.
the $700 at this point?
Well, no, well, so shortly after that, she gave me the movies back. After
Mm,
the judge gave her the choice of either give me
right.
the movies back or give me $700. She gave me the movies back shortly after. But I wasn't contacting anybody to verify that. So
Mm,
she just now had this lawyer a couple months ago contact me to let her know that I did receive those items so they can take that off of her as far as the court system goes, so she can, get her license or whatever the case may be. Yeah.
right. So
Yeah.
what do you think needs to change in society when it comes to society better supporting male survivors?
As far as supporting male survivors, I think just be equal, like let it
Mhm.
be fair. Like if you're gonna believe every woman that says this happened to them, which you can't take away from that at all, then men should have the same respect, when they explain their truth and their story, you
Right.
know? Like I don't know why it's this whole consensus that it can't happen to a man,
Hmm.
you know what I'm saying? And that they just should be able to take it because we're men. You know what I mean? Like you can't say that and on the other hand say right is right and wrong is wrong.
Hmm.
Like the two don't go together. You know what I mean? If
Right.
someone's wrong, they're wrong whether they're man or woman. You know what I'm saying? If they've been wronged, whether they're man or woman, they should get the same justice.
Right.
And it doesn't happen. Unfortunately, it doesn't happen because even at that time, when we were arrested, before the sexual assault happened, when we arrested the first time, I had to be bailed out. She was let go on her own R&R.
Mm,
Yeah, she was let go on her own RR. I had to get bailed out by my chain of command. You see,
mm.
so even then it wasn't the same justice, and I was just defending myself.
Right.
Like I knew it wasn't gonna be looked at as defending myself. I knew it, you know.
Yeah.
But it was like even when we were getting released, it wasn't even equal. This person's been arrested before. That was my first time ever being arrested.
Wow.
But I had to get bailed out, and this person gets let go. Like it was just, it's crazy. It's sickening. It's
Yeah.
what it is.
Do you think it would have been different if it was a man that assaulted you opposed to a woman? You think the outcome would have been different?
I can't say that it would have been
Mm,
because I think if it was a man, I think I would have been less likely to come forward. I would have been less likely to say something.
right.
That probably would be something I would have took to my grave. I'm not gonna lie. That probably was
Mm,
something that nobody would have ever known.
mm.
So, but if I was to say something, I don't think so. I think it would have been the same because it would have been my word versus his. So I think it would have been the same. I think
Yeah,
it would have been the same.
that's so fucked up. I feel like men got it hard, man.
It's
I
crazy.
really do. And that's why I'm so happy I'm doing this men series because I feel like,
Mhm.
there's so many conversations that men want to be a part of. They want to share their stories, but like you said, a lot of people make fun of them. They don't feel comfortable or nobody believe them.
Yeah, yeah. It. It's hard. It's hard. It took me it took me a long time to get over that, and like I even said now, I think it's been affecting my relationships up to my 30s.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I was still letting those kind of women take advantage of me and use me. Up to I'm 31. Up to the time I was 31. You know, so I'm 33 now, but up to the time I'm 31, I'm still allowing those like-minded women to, you know. So it was. Yeah.
Did you ever go to therapy, or have you been to therapy?
For that situation, no. I had to do mandatory therapy after we first got arrested. For one was like a victims class, another one was like an aggressors class. So it was like I had to, you know, I had to do mandatory therapy, but it wasn't for the sexual thing at all. I didn't get any kind of therapy for that.
Would you want to do it?
Would I want to do therapy? I really don't have the time.
Yeah.
That's another big thing because it's like 2 jobs, you know what I'm saying, a son, a family, you know what I'm saying? So it's like I don't know when I have the time.
Right.
You know, and so it's like this entire time I just had to keep going, you know what I'm saying? And hope at some point in my life, I forget about it or can block it out in some way.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Well, I'm gonna keep you in my prayers. I'm gonna ask God, because I know you're a hardworking Black man. So I'm gonna ask God to give you some time for yourself, so you can really because I feel like you are in a better space, but just hearing your story and just like seeing your facial expression stuff, I know it still bothers you. And I mean, it will still bother me too, especially the fact that nobody believe you. So I think that helping talk to somebody, because I went to therapy and therapy has taught me a lot. So I'm gonna pray that you find some time and just, talk to a Black woman or a Black man or whatever you feel is you comfortable with, and, just help you through some things and help you figure some things out.
I really appreciate that. You know, I love what you're doing here with the podcast, the show, and everything. So,
Thank you. Thank you.
You're pretty much the first one that I've ever got to sit down in this kind of setting and talk about it. So, I really appreciate you doing that.
Thank you. Thank you. And last but not least, what would be some advice you would give to our male listeners who might be hesitant to come forward?
It's not going to hurt you. I'll say that. It's not going to hurt you. It may help. Even if it doesn't, it still can be therapeutic to get it off. You know what I'm saying? And
just telling somebody for sure.
Yeah, like it can be therapeutic just doing that, and it can't hurt you. You know what I'm saying? The worst is over. You know what I'm saying? After that situation happened, that was the worst of it, So even if you end up in my situation and you don't get any kind of justice for that particular situation, if you can get to a point where you can forgive and let go, that is really all the justice I need. I done got to a point where I forgave and let it go, where I'm not even seeking justice for it no more, because I knew it wasn't going to happen in the first place. But I mean, spiritually, I wasn't even seeking any kind of harm or justice or anything to be done to this person. So I don't wish them the best. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I don't wish them the best, but I don't wish them the worst, and I don't wish ill or death. So I'm just happy to move on with my life. That's what I'm doing.
And now you have a beautiful family. You got a fiance. So I'm happy for you.
I really appreciate that.
Thank you.
Have fun when you come to Seattle.
I am lit. Well, by the time they hear this, I will be in Seattle. So this will be my first time visiting. Yeah, so I'm super excited about it because I'm in New York. So I'm like, sometimes you just need a change of scenery,
Yeah, I need a change of scenery. What
I can only imagine.
What they got in New York?
Child, I need a change of scenery. They got everything. Whatever you're looking for, New York got it. Okay.
I need a change of scenery too. I can't. Yeah.
To the listeners, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please make sure to email me at hello@thephgpodcast.com. I hope you get something from this story, because if anything, it is important to share your storyline, because you never know how it can be someone else's lifeline. So thank you so much to my guest. And until next time, everyone, later.
Thank you.
You gonna say bye?
Yeah, I was saying thank you.
Oh, that's saying bye. Where you from, in Seattle?
Yeah, it's like, yeah, well, no, I'm from Virginia. So
Oh,
it's
okay,
like, all
okay.
right, that's my no, but I really appreciate you, and hopefully at some other point, you know what I mean, we could do this again, you know what I'm saying, even if it's about
Yes.
a different topic or whatever, you know what I'm saying. I enjoyed this. So
Thank you,
I
thank you,
appreciate
thank
you.
you. Of course. All right, y'all. Later.